Congresswoman Berdalio and Congressman Underwood. 7:22. Let's keep it on the phones here. We wanted to bring the administration director, Ed Birn, on to the show for some updates. Good morning, Mr. Birn.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning. It's been a while.
I send you the bill too.
Yeah.
And you promised to pay it.
Yeah,
I don't know. You got some crazy bills.
All right. So I guess we'll just start with, we had a caller last week who had told us about these applications for the programa na Zudan Salapi para Tauto Dani Pastit and Empanada and Shrimp Patty program. And so the woman had said that she had spoke with Mike Schnepp at DOA and that he had told her that there were several boxes of unprocessed applications. And then, so I had actually ended up calling Mike on something else, and he said, yeah, we're only up to May 11th or 12th, I think. And so we wanted to just bring you on and just kind of just set the record straight. Where are we with those applications? What date are we up to? And is there anything that's preventing these payments from getting out quicker?
Yes, yes, thank you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about them. Can I just take a step back?
Sure.
That we've sent out just under 18,000 checks already to people that their names were given to us by public health because they were already registered or in the process of being registered for other programs. So we sent out these 18,000 checks to these people because we already had the detail. Public health already had the details in the system. And that's amounted to something over $13 million. In addition to that, we've got these applications, and of course the reason they're in boxes is because they're not electronic like the unemployment applications. They're all manual. They're all several pages of paper that are for people that applied just for the cash assistance part of this program. And I guess most of them are newly qualified because of the raised income limits. So those applications were sent to public health. Public health logged them in and sent them on to us for processing because we're charged with helping public health to make this program work. We've actually received just under 8,000 applications, 7,974. But many of them don't have the required supporting documentation. And public health, in particular, and us too, have been calling these applicants in order to get the missing information. And it's very important, please, that people send the missing information. And as you know, the deadline for the submission of these applications, although the initial date is closed, that means that nobody can submit new applications after Friday. You have until June 30th to submit all the supporting documentation for these applications. And public health is contacting everybody that's applied. When we go through these applications, we find a fair number of anomalies, like people that have applied in one program and applied again in another, or indeed we've had some people who applied as a head of household on one application and as a dependent on another application. So we're combing through these as rigorously we can, and we're at May 13th now.
And how many applications is that up to May 13th? You said you had 8,000 that you'd received?
Yeah, it's I'm just eyeballing it. It's 1,080. It's about 2,500.
And you have over about 6,000 more to go. Wow.
Yeah, because the biggest number are in May 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Mm-hmm. Can you just clarify, though, is this something that the Department of Administration and your staff, I guess, were trained to do? Because it sounds like this is just a whole new responsibility added to the Department of Administration.
Right, yeah.
So that's true. I mean, Department of Administration is charged with processing payments. And it became apparent, certainly to me, that without the support of this department, these payments wouldn't get out as quickly as the governor desired. So we offered to support this program. It's a public health program, but as you know, in the initial release, DRT and DOA were supporting, offering and providing logistic support to make it happen. And I would like to, take this opportunity to say that I'm very proud of staff at DOA, both in accounting and in HR, who have spent a lot of their time and effort processing these applications. You're right, Sabrina. We stood up this program in a week in order to get these payments out, and that was due to the hard work of the people in this department.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to request maybe some help, or are you having to switch hours around? Just seems like a lot.
Yes, we are switching hours around. I don't think that we've got about 11 people working on this, not full time, but because they have to do their regular jobs. But we are switching around hours to do this as efficiently as we can, and I'm pretty confident that by June 30th, which is the last date, we'll have got through that stack that you referred to, and is the balance of the 9,000 applicants.
Did you have any idea that it was going to be this gargantuan of a task when you agreed to help provide? I mean, is there a difference between support and you're doing all the work?
Well, you never know in a new program. You never know what the work content is going to be. I thought we were doing pretty well when we got out 1,800 war claims checks. Little did I know that a few months later we'd be getting out like 65,000 economic impact checks and 17,000 public assistance checks, and as well as the regular payroll and vendors checks that we're charged with doing on a day-to-day basis. So no, I didn't. Mm-hmm. But it's a program worth doing, so that's why we're doing it.
Right. Well, aside from the EIP and the Programmen Salapi Zuden Yitaudao program, I know that when we spoke with the Department of Labor Director David De La Sola last week, he had mentioned to us prior to him getting off the phone that he would be meeting, I believe, with the Departments of Administration or speaking with DOA along with their software vendor to finalize the payment process plan. Can you give us a status update on the finalization of that?
We're still talking with their vendor on the final details of the information that will come to us. Mm-hmm. Very fortunately, because, this is a federal program, so the funds are available to pay for the automation of this process. Most of it is online, and about 90%, I'm told that 90% of the applicants have given us direct deposit information, which makes the payment of the whole thing much easier.
Wow, 90%?
Yes, it's about 90%. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you guys also do the checks for the GITA, the Ricky Hernandez GITA?
That small business program.
Right.
Yes, we've issued about I think it's like $50,000 or $60,000 in those checks too. And we're waiting for. I think they've given us like 20, somewhere around 40 applicants, and I think if I remember rightly, they had 174.
So 174,000 or
174 applicants.
Oh, okay.
They've given us about 40 of those to process.
And that's 50 to 60,000. So that's about 10 grand. How's that one?
I think it's a little less than that.
How's that program going? Any backlog? What date are you on with that, Ed?
We've only got two batches from them, and we're on the second batch.
For that, are those applications, all electronic?
From GITA?
Yeah. Well, I guess you guys don't handle the vetting of that, but it just kind of...
No, we just get a listing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
So that can be turned around pretty quickly.
Mhm.
And of course, they're businesses, so many
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those businesses are already in our database.
Yeah, I was just kind of crazy that you have 8,000 applications and it's all paper.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
it's
yes,
not
I-
done electronically.
I agree, but I don't know if you've had people calling into your station, but many of these people don't have access or continuous access
Right.
to the internet, or so to some people that's the appropriate way to do it. I mean, as time goes on, and I think there's a plan to do this to make the internet more available to everybody, so that we can
Right.
make this
Yeah.
whole process.
So,
Mhm.
and this Ajudan program. This is something that you take seriously. Like you understand the need that people have for this assistance, right?
Absolutely, that's why we're getting out these checks as fast as we can, and everybody here that's working on it understands the need to get this money to the right people. It's unfortunate that, and I kind of understand, because it's a new program and people are doing this for the first time, that when they submitted their applications, it wasn't a complete application. But we're doing our best, as I explained earlier, to make sure that the applications do get processed if they're valid.
Okay, so I just want to make sure this is correct. You guys have paid out 13 million, which equates to about 18,000 checks. You've got about 8,000 applications, paper-wise, at DOA, but you've processed, I think you said, 2,000 of those.
Yes, but not all of them have turned into valid. Some. When I say process, that means that we've identified some missing information.
I see.
And we're just waiting for the information to come in. I believe the number that we've actually that will be released to accounting today to get checked out is about 200.
Okay. And those applications, those are new people to the program that have signed up because they were impacted from COVID.
Yes, and the income limits were raised, so that brought a whole
Right.
batch of people
Right.
into the fold.
Yeah. And could you again go over the process? If I filled out an application for this program and there's a mistake with it, who's going to be calling me and what type of number? Just so people know, it's going to be public or whoever it is.
Please contact Public Health, because they're the people that are collecting all these documents initially, because they want to make sure that these applicants aren't already on their program. So they're doing the first quick vetting, and then they send it on to us. When they receive the missing documentation, right, every application that they've logged in has a number. When they receive the missing documentation, they put the number on that, and we match it up with the documentation we're holding here.
Right.
So the first stop, please, is Public Health.
Right.
Well,
And
since we know, though, that it's the new applicants that are affected, could they just call?
Yes.
Yeah.
They can call Public Health, or and they do call us too, and we do our best to answer when we
Okay.
can.
Right.
All right. And so the deadline again for anybody that's listening, it is June 30th to submit
30th, yeah.
the required documents.
Yes, please, and please, if you could keep on reminding the people, that would be really helpful
Yeah, you got it.
to them and to us.
Ed, do you guys need help? Because I know you're the help, but I know some of your staff has been detailed out to help Department of Labor. So
We've only got one person. Because of this, we've only got one person at the Department of Labor, and they need they need people too. So, and Public Health needs people, too. So everybody's being spread fairly thin at the moment, but everybody's working hard, and I'm sure we'll all get through it.
all right, Ed.
All right.
Thanks for checking
Thanks,
in.
Mr.
Appreciate
Birn.
the update. Bird.
Thanks. Thanks. Have a good day.
Top of the
too.
morning to you. Wash your hands.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wait, is that a?
Oh, shit.
We're trying to be all British over here.
I was gonna say, saying top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of
That's
the morning
Irish,
to
yeah.
a proper British.
That's bad,
that-
right?
A subject in
I
Her
don't think
Majesty's kingdom.
That's bad.
I don't know.
That's That's like saying aloha to a Chamorro. I mean, it's appreciated.
Wow.
You know, the sentiment is there, just slightly off.
Wow. So that would be like the Chamorro showing the Shaka sign.
Ooh. Go back to week 2 of containing COVID, and you can see that clip. That's on YouTube.
Hey, we're going to take a break at 7:37, and coming up, we have Attorney General Levin Camacho to talk about Guam. Yeah, the hit designation. This is a great story that I actually followed last year. Man, I wonder if I could get that up on. I forgot to send
I remember that because it failed when the
So
government
yeah,
tried to.
the
apply
last
for that.
administration, the Cabo Tenorio administration, had put in the request to the feds.
No, but also I thought this administration did, right? Didn't they? In September of last year, it didn't get approved, and
Right.
so the governor, with Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, because he was with the judiciary for a long time,
Right.
they wanted to actually do this to partner with Hawaii.
Yeah, and so basically the attorneys general of Guam and the CNMI are writing to the federal government and saying that the trafficking of crystal meth, the prevalence of ice is so bad on Guam that we need the federal government to come and bail us out.
Bail us out?
Well, yeah, I mean, we provide all the resources to get these crack dealers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't think
yeah.
there's anything wrong with that because
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm saying. I didn't mean it in a bad
Oh, I was gonna
yeah.
say. I
Oh,
think
we want the
need-
federal government to bail us out. No, please come. This is the time we want you to come. So we'll talk about that coming up 7:38. It's containing COVID. Good morning.
Keeping you informed, KUAM News brings you Banking 671, brought to you by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, and Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Together, we thrive.
KUAM News COVID-19 Takeover on I-94 FM is presented locally by Ambrose Inc.